right, big news, an update coming in as world leaders now landing into Israel. French President Emmanuel Macron, one of them, who's just landed into Tel Aviv. He has met with Israeli President Herzog, says 30 French nationals have been killed on October 7th. That's the number that's now been announced. French nationals, 30 of them, who've been caught in the war and have died. Emmanuel Macron also meets with family members of those victims in the massacre on 7th of October when Hamas terrorists unleashed carnage. In fact, Macron says France stands in solidarity with Israel. They are mourning the deaths of civilians in Israel. Here is French President Emmanuel Macron, who's arriving into Israel's Tel Aviv, meeting with the President Herzog. Says that there are at least 30 French nationals who have been killed in this war and standing in solidarity with Israel. While that said, there will be discussions on a two-state resolution as well, as Emmanuel Macron himself hinted at the fact that a solution needs to be found on this issue that's been long-standing. He comes out in solidarity with Israel, says France is mourning.
We are bereaving with major pain that we've never suffered as a nation since our establishment, and we've suffered a lot of pain throughout our history. I see families day in, day out, or bereaving, praying, crying, emotionally suffering so much, and the entire nation is suffering with them. But we are a strong nation. And we are committed to overcome, and we are committed to destroying our enemies. We are demanding the full and immediate release of all of our citizens who are abducted and hijacked. And the immediate release, as we are seeing clear crimes against humanity, we're seeing the suffering of young and old. 30 children, Mr. President. 30 children are out there kidnapped by Hamas terrorists who carried out one of the worst atrocities in modern times.
All right, I'm going to cut across to Rajesh Pawar, who joins us with more details on this. Rajesh, Emmanuel Macron, who's landed into Tel Aviv, he's met with the President of Israel, and a figure that's now been announced, 30 French nationals who've been killed in this war ever since it began on October 7th. And that said, you have Emmanuel Macron standing in complete solidarity with Israel. What more was spoken about?
Look, Nabila, the statement and the press conference of Emmanuel Macron has been on expected lines. We were expecting him to say that he stands in, and France stands in complete solidarity with Israel and the people of Israel. He will condemn the abduction of these children, rape of these women, and the atrocities committed against Israeli people by Hamas on 7th of October. So his statement is more on the expected lines. And we have seen that European leaders, one after the other, it was earlier Chancellor Scholz, and then President Joe Biden, and then Prime Minister Sunak, and then yesterday Prime Minister Meloni of Italy. So one after the other, European leaders have been coming to Tel Aviv to show their solidarity with Israel and Israeli people. And one thing which is common in all these leaders is they say that Israel has full right to defend itself and its people and to strengthen its security. And this is, in a way, if you try to interpret it, is a green light to Israel to go ahead with its offensive in Gaza and whatever it deems necessary and fit to protect its people and protect its nationhood. So we see that President Macron has been also one of the most strong anti-Islamist leaders in Europe. The way he banned the protests in France and the way he has been giving statements one after the other. Nabila.
Well, as we see that there's also a discussion around a two-state resolution. We believe that Emmanuel Macron is also one of them who's highlighted the right for a Palestinian land.
Very much, Nabila. You see, this is this Israel-Palestine issue has been a festering issue over decades. Many leaders, many American presidents, world leaders around the world have tried somehow to resolve this issue, which somehow refuses to get resolved. And now this this unbelievable cycle of violence which has erupted. Everybody wants it to stop. And one of the things which everybody sees as a viable solution, as a permanent solution, is a two-state solution. It has not worked out in the past. Let's see if it works out in future. But what I think right now, Israel is not thinking of solution. Israel is not thinking of two-state thing. What is on the mind of Israel right now and on the mind of Israeli people is revenge and to take their hostages back. Nabila.
Right. Thanks very much, Rajesh, for joining us on that.